Well, good morning. This is Pastor Minnassa, and I welcome you to Pastor Minnassa's Sacred Space. So I've started a little bit early so that the notification can go out on Instagram as I'm doing it live. And hello to my YouTube family. And thank you to all of you, especially on Instagram. Thank you to all of you who watch this later. I appreciate the opportunity to be of service to you. And I know that 9:30 Central Time is 7:30 Pacific Time, and maybe a little bit early, even for those at 10:30 on Eastern Time. And so I welcome all of you. I am grateful to be of service. And let's just give a few minutes, a minute or two. We'll begin with some sounds of the crystal ball. Well, I welcome you to Pastor Minnassa's Sacred Space. What is the purpose of this time together today? Excuse my itchy nose. It is a time to begin the week in a safe and sacred space. A chance to come and renew, reset, and recharge. To dive deep into spirit and into fellowship together. To begin this week from a place of connecting to your divinity, to your holiness, to your power, and to your oneness. And I serve as your pastor, your guide on this spiritual journey. Well, I say hello to everyone, and I had a great time last week in Chattanooga with my wife and our friends George and Judy. It's a beautiful little city. Of course, I fell in love with it. Like, let's move there. But I got to give Memphis a chance, even though Memphis is like, And I say that because Memphis got everything. A professional NBA team, the FedEx, Medtronic, they got a lot of stuff to be successful. But the energy here is so old world, so mediocre, so victim. Oh, what's going on with my lipstick right there? And so hopefully through the work with other people, we can raise that vibe and get Memphis to the world-class city that it is meant to be. And so I had a beautiful vacay. A great time resting when I got back from home, and I'm glad to be here with all of you. So again, let me reiterate that this is a safe and sacred space. I have called in the angels of love and light to provide protection during this time and for all of you who will watch it later. Oh, my nose is so itchy. I do invite you to connect with me across social media. I have a podcast which you can find on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, Tarot Living with Minnassa podcast. Follow me on YouTube if you don't already, and subscribe to my channel. I see you here on Instagram, and I thank you for being here. And so today, our inspirational reading comes from What I Know for Sure by Oprah Winfrey, and I'm reading from her section on clarity. Around my 50th birthday, I became more aware of time than I had ever been. I felt an almost primal understanding in the core of myself that there was a finite amount of time left, and that feeling permeated everything I did, dictating how I reacted in every moment. It made me more conscious and appreciative of every experience, every awakening, Gee, I'm still here. I have another chance today to get it right. I still try to take in all experiences, even the negative ones. I take time, even if it's only 1 minute in the morning, to breathe slowly and let myself feel the connection to all other breathing and vibrating energies in this world and beyond. I have found that recognizing your relationship to the infinity makes the finite more palatable. What I know for sure is that giving yourself time to just be is essential to fulfilling your mission as a human being. So I give myself Sundays. Sometimes I spend the whole day in my pajamas. Sometimes I have church under the trees communing with nature. Most times I do just nothing, piddling I call it, and let my brain and body decompress. Whenever I've slipped up and missed a Sunday, I've noticed a definite change in my disposition for the rest of the week. I know for sure that you cannot give to everybody else and not give back to yourself. Excuse my itchy nose. And I want to read that sentence again. I know for sure that you cannot give to everybody else and not give back to yourself. You'll end up empty, or at best, less than what you can be for yourself and your family and your work. Replenish the well of yourself for yourself. And if you think there's no time to do that, what you're really saying is, I have no life to give. I have no life to give to or live for myself. And if you have no life to live for yourself, then why are you here? About a decade ago, I learned a big lesson. The phone was always ringing on Sundays when I had set that aside as my time. I'd answer and feel agitated and irritable with the person who called. Stedman said to me on one of those occasions, if you don't want to talk, why do you keep picking up the phone? Aha. Just because the phone is ringing doesn't mean I have to respond. I control what I do with my time. I control what I do with my time. We all do. Even when it seems out of control. Protect your time. It is your life. Taking time to be. Oh, my nose is so itchy today. Our theme for the month of April is identity, or who am I? I have to say I was really touched by Will Smith's YouTube documentary, The Best Shape of My Life. And how, as he made this journey to take care of his body, which I was like, dude, you in your 50s and you got a little bitty paunch. You still sexy as hell? Whatevs, right? I mean, we get so hard on ourselves. Okay, but that's a whole different story. So how can you be talking about Will Smith after what happened? Because if you watch that documentary, go to YouTube and watch The Best Shape of My Life. You will see that this man is coming into an understanding, just like Oprah said, of who she is. And in her 50s, right? This has been my best decade. I know y'all can't believe I'm almost at the end of my 50s, okay? But dang, this is when kids are chill. Life is, it's like, wow, who am I? What do I want to do? And so watching this documentary that Will Smith made, I'm watching this man do what me and my light worker friends have been doing, which is doing shadow work, going deep within, looking at the ugly aspects of ourselves and seeing that it's still beautiful. Because if it's a part of me, if it's a part of you, it's still beautiful. And embracing that and acknowledging that, learning how to use our own voice. And I watched in this, just some real raw emotion. And I think, dude, you need a Minnassa in your life. You need someone who can spiritually guide you, help you connect with your guides. Because when you try to do that on your own strength, you need your guides, you need your teams, you need to invite them in and call them in. And so I was really just inspired by that, my own journey. I spent so much of my life being safe. I grew up in a house where my family wanted high achievements. And as I watched my cousins not do the things that my family expected of them, and then the punishment that came from them, I learned without words, girl, you better do. And so I spent much of my life pleasing my family, doing what I thought the world. I had great titles, manager at the bank and, senior pastor and, all those things. But I came to a point in my life where I ran away from those things. I literally put the keys down on my desk at the church where I was the pastor and shut the door and walked away. And that wasn't like me. That wasn't like me. But I had to get away. It wasn't me. It wasn't what I wanted to do. And I've spent this last 16-year journey, because that happened in 2006, finding out who I am. Who I am. What am I about? And I think it's so perfect as you watch that documentary by Will Smith, or, my girl here, Oprah, with her book, her journey, what I know for sure, right? What she has learned in her lifetime, and other people that you admire, their journey. The first step is knowing who you are, who I am. Who are you? And so I think it's perfect that as we are in Aries season, the Aries mantra is, I am. Who are you? Because what comes after that drives your actions, drives your interaction, drives what you create in your world. If you say, I am safety, or I am fearful, or I am whatever you want me to be, then that's what happens. You say, well, I wish this was in my life, but you're busy doing this. So you have to say, I am divine. I am in control of my time. I am a creator. I deserve to be loved because I am lovable. And so all of that aspect of coming to who you are, who are you? What is your identity? And then from that place, not just what your driver's license says about you, or your birth certificate, or your passport, but who are you on the inside? And have you gone into that place? I honor anyone that takes that journey. Oprah, Will Smith, Minnassa, anybody. That is a hard task, to look at yourself and say, who am I? Am I being true to what matters to me? And usually that journey is going to start after you've been on this planet for a while. Bless you younger people that get that ahead of time, all right? And so the question is, using this fire element, desire, what is it that you want? Say, well, Minnassa, it's being selfish. No, it's not being selfish doing what you want. It's being self-full. Now, if what you want is harmful to the people around you, now there may be some selfishness in that, or get away from those people, right? I'm just saying, doing what you want begins the healing process, but you got to make sure it's what you want, not what people expect of you. Living your best life connected to who you are. What matters to you? What do you desire? That fire, what's that passion within you? What do you like? Like Oprah, girl, please. PJs and my comfy chair and a little bit of Johnny Walker next to me. Minnassa's in her happy place, When I am holding my beautiful wife in my arms or just hanging out with her. When I'm giggling silly with my daughter, or we're talking about world issues. Hanging out with Judy and George, traveling. Eating some good food, I ain't eating in no cheap restaurants. I mean, I have, but eating in the best places. I love that, and I deserve that. I love wearing my pajamas. I love wearing comfy pants. I'm wearing a t-shirt today. That's me. And who are you? And this is also Aries, under the planet of Mars. Right? The god of war. But this is about being a force for good in your own life and then in this world. All the people that you admire, one of the things I loved about that Will Smith documentary is that who you think he is a very well-crafted image. And so many of the people that you admire, they may not be anything like what you see, because it's a crafted image. And for too many of us, and for me, for too long in my life, I was living this image. I was a force of someone else's creation. But when I became a force for good in my own life, that's when the transformation happened. That's when the joy happened. That's when the healing happened. And so I'm inviting you this week, as it is Palm Sunday throughout the Christian world. It's the beginning of Holy Week. Palm Sunday, celebrating the triumphal entry of Jesus into Jerusalem, heading to Good Friday, the the crucifixion and the death, and then next Sunday being Easter Sunday, celebrating the resurrection, which is an old story. You don't need Jesus to have that story. Many gods and goddesses have had that story, but it's a story to bring into our own lives. Where can I praise and celebrate the good in my life? Where can I walk in triumph because I'm connected with my higher purpose? Where can I be my highest self? And then walk in that holiness, walk in that fullness. And even if you walk, through the valley of the shadow of death. I love those TikToks where the husband tells his wife something like, well, she's like, I think the washing machine is shrinking my clothes. And he said, are you sure it's not the fridge? As I walk through the valley of the, but even when you have to walk through darkness, you can do that if you are grounded in who you are, if you have celebrated the light. If you are creating and living your life from a purpose, knowing that even every down, there is an up that follows, that plants are put in the ground and then they bloom. And so even the darkness coming through that birthing womb, there is light. And so in this Holy Week, the most holy thing you can do this week is to be yourself. Connect with the awesome, divine, eternal being that is housed in this beautiful, gorgeous earth entity, and to be that person. Bring your love and light, anchored in your divinity, in your holiness, in your oneness with the all that is, and walk your path of joy, light, and holiness. I bless you this week, this Holy Week, for every day is holy. But as we focus on the work of the Christ, that Christ consciousness, living from oneness, sharing your gifts, and walking boldly to a higher place. Be that, live that, experience that. I love you all. Have a blessed, beautiful day. And I'll send this out with a little bit of music. Have a great week.